here crying in the middle of Chanel. All those tears of joy from your eyes, I can't tell. She say things I do for
Drake's first album since his beef with Kendrick. Let's get into it. In the most Drake fashion, he releases his collab album with PARTYNEXTDOOR titled Some Sexy Songs for You on Valentine's Day. You can't tell me that's not the most Drake thing ever, but I remember when he announced a while ago that him and PARTYNEXTDOOR were working on this album.
Oh, all right, and before I go, should I tell him or no? For sure. Okay, on behalf of me and Party, we've been working on something for y'all, so you get the summer over with. Do what you need to do. I know all you girls are outside, and when it gets a little chilly, PARTYNEXTDOOR and Drake album will be right there for you. We love y'all. Right there for you. Thank you. You have a good night. Thanks.
I was pretty excited. All of their songs I'm a big fan of. Since way back, Come and See Me are some of my favorites. Like, they just make really good music together. So a whole project I was pretty excited for. But I began to get a little curious when this was his first album after the whole Kendrick stuff. Like, I was a little confused, but I was still excited. And then it was officially announced, and we got the date and all that stuff. And my excitement began to creep in a little bit more after hearing some snippets and some teases. I think I was liking where this album was going. So that was kind of my thought process going into the album. After hearing it, it's pretty solid. Like, I enjoyed it. There's quite a handful of tracks that are definitely going to be in my rotation frequently. A lot of standouts, a lot of great tracks, but also, and this is just one of the biggest gripes that I have with the streaming era and kind of Drake for a few years now, is this excess of tracks. There's so many tracks on here that I definitely felt like you could trim the fat a little bit. Did not need to be 21 songs. Maybe some of these songs are some of your favorite, but a lot of the songs I didn't end up saving or liking. Just felt so unnecessary. I just wasn't a fan of them. On initial listen, I think it's a solid project. I don't think it's super special. I don't think it's anything crazy for what I believe a PARTYNEXTDOOR and Drake album could be. Like, these are artists that have really great musical chemistry together. They make great music, fantastic songs, and I think I expected a little bit more from the project, and it's not bad. It's just kind of, it's good. It's solid. I enjoyed it, but I think it would be better if you trim the fat. But even then, there was only one or two like standout songs for me personally, but it wasn't like, there just wasn't that hard hitting PARTYNEXTDOOR Drake track. Like, whenever you see PARTYNEXTDOOR featured on a Drake album or vice versa, you know that's going to be a standout song on that album. And I didn't feel like we got that energy on this project. Again, I don't want to sound like I didn't like it, because I really am a fan of this album. I think it will age a lot better with time, but after a couple listens, I just don't think it was what it should have been. But when the expectations are that high and the standard is that high, and it's here and you meet it here, it's still a good project. Like, it's still good. There's still some catchy songs. There's still some funny lyrics, some standout lyrics that you're always going to get from Drake. But actually, I feel like Drake really shined on this project. I feel like he delivered some great songs, some catchy hooks, some great verses, some memorable moments on the album. Drake was 100% the standout, and you might be thinking like, yeah, obviously it's Drake, but I'm a fan of PARTYNEXTDOOR, and I think he's an artist that can carry his weight on a project like this. But I feel like he didn't. I don't know. I feel like PARTYNEXTDOOR was sidelined on his own collab album, and I don't know the behind-the-scenes reasons, and I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but even the stuff that he was on, I didn't feel like he was putting his best foot forward. It didn't feel like the PARTYNEXTDOOR I know that he can be. But Drake, I felt like was going all out. I felt like we saw a lot of great Drake on this album, and not a lot of great Party Next Door or like Drake Party Next Door synergy, which is what kind of disappointed me a little bit. Maybe that is what makes you like it a little bit because you just want straight like Drake tracks, but I was really looking forward to Party Next Door and Drake on a whole project together. I just felt like it wasn't what it really could have been. Like, there's so much potential there with the songwriting capabilities of Party Next Door, the R&B music, the sound that they can really create and hone in on. Like, it wasn't fully there, but if it was just a Drake project, I think it's actually pretty great. Like, it's pretty solid. Drake does a great job. It felt like this wasn't super serious for him. It felt like he was just trying to make some fun songs, some great songs. He even alludes to it in one of the lyrics that he's just trying to get the party lit. Like, he's not trying to do anything crazy. And that energy is felt on the project, and that's what I really like about it. The energy, the fun, it's some solid songs. It's just not what a Party Next Door and Drake album could have been. And that's where I'm left a little disappointed. But again, I can't communicate enough. Love the album. Great project. It's still a ton of fun. I'm going to be listening to the songs a lot. Right here are the list of songs that I ended up saving to my library, so you can see the ones that I liked and some of the songs that I wasn't a huge fan of, kind of left them on the album, didn't add to any of my playlists or like songs or anything like that. And then these were my favorite standout tracks from the album itself. Overall, I'd probably give the album right now a 3.5 out of 5, but with room to grow. I think there's a lot of potential for it to reach a 4. I don't think it'll get to a 4.5, but there's a chance it'll get to 4.5. But I definitely think with time, it'll age like a fine wine. It'll be great, and it'll be a solid 4 in the next few months or by the end of the year. But right now, I'm giving it 3.5 stars. So let me know what you thought about. It's so weird for me to say this title. It's just kind of like, it's so Drake, but let me know what you thought about some sexy songs for you. Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? What are some of your favorite tracks? Let me know. Deuskis, homies.